So welcome to IvyLearn Fundamentals, getting started with IvyLearn for students. My name is Kathy Long, and I'm the Senior Training Specialist for Ivy Tech Community College. And joining me behind the scenes today are several talented individuals and very knowledgeable individuals who will be helping to answer questions. So we'll be answering questions throughout the presentation, and then we'll also have these folks online helping us. Holly Gould is from our Gary campus, and she's part of our online technology staff, and she'll be helping to answer questions behind the scenes. Jennifer Stouffer is joining us from our Indianapolis campus, also part of our online technology staff. And then Stephen Mitchell, also from the Gary area, will be helping to answer questions as well, and he's the star member of our online technologies team as well. So welcome. Today we're going to talk about several things. How to navigate the IvyLearn platform, how you prepare for the start of the semester, and since the semester has already started, some tips and tricks on things that you might want to catch up on. And then also we're going to explore some online course information and also common assignment types. This webinar is for all students, not just students taking online courses. IvyLearn, which is our platform for how the course content is delivered to you, is for all students. So at a bare minimum, every student should be able to log into IvyLearn. It's also known as Canvas. Canvas is the official name of our learning management system. We've nicknamed it IvyLearn. So if you're going to the mobile app, for example, you would look for Canvas for Students if you want to download that to your mobile device. But we call it IvyLearn. Okay? IvyLearn is for everyone. So at a minimum, everyone should be able to log into the IvyLearn platform, access their course, traditional, hybrid, synchronous, online courses, and they should be able to see their instructor contact information, a syllabus document, and then also the grades that you've earned within that individual course. Online courses, all of the content is delivered there, and even our traditional and our hybrid sections, you might be turning in assignments using the IvyLearn platform. So how do you get there? How do you get to the IvyLearn platform? You're going to go to ivylearn.ivytech.edu, and you're going to enter in your MyIvy username and password. So MyIvy is something that you should already be familiar with. MyIvy is that information portal where you go to find your class schedule, how to pay your bill, information on how to change your financial aid or your address. All that information is there under MyIvy. So you're going to use that same Ivy Tech email account and password to enter into the ivylearn.ivytech.edu platform, our IvyLearn content area. Once you've entered in your information, click the Sign In button, and you'll open up to the IvyLearn platform. Now, by default, IvyLearn opens up to a dashboard page. And that's what you're looking at right now. This is the dashboard. So let's talk about how you navigate through the IvyLearn platform. Over here on the left-hand side, this is called the Global Navigation menu. And you can click on any one of these icons to move from one content area to the other. You can't break anything, so please feel free to explore. The center part of this content area is where you will find your assignments. This is in this particular view, this is where you find your dashboard. And these right here, these little cards are called course cards. And you click on any one of these cards to enter into your course that you're taking. Okay, so here those are. And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in just a minute. And then finally, over here on the right-hand side, this is called the sidebar area. And in this particular view, it has your to-do list. So things that are coming up, it's due date specific, and items that are coming up on your calendar that need to be done. You can click on any one of these items and go straight to that assignment. You will also see any feedback. This is recent feedback on assignments that you've taken. And then if you scroll down just a teeny tiny bit, you will also see you can access your grades for all of your courses here from this dashboard page. So the IvyLearn environment has set up to help you be a successful student. It's also set up for you to be able to customize how you access material. And one of those ways is that you can go right here to this dashboard. You can access your courses that you're currently taking. And you can also click on one of these assignments to take you directly to that. And you can also click this View Grades to see all the grades that you've earned so far in all of your classes. Okay. So by default, we open up to this dashboard page. If you haven't already done so, you need to go up here to your Account button, and that's the first icon here on the global navigation menu. You want to set up your profile, your settings, and your notifications. So let's start with profile. The profile is where you can add a picture and also add a little bit about yourself. Your instructor for your courses will also have their profile set up, so you'll be able to see their image and then also contact information on how to access them. This is a public-facing document, so you want to make sure that you are thinking about what you're posting out there for the Ivy Tech community to see. To edit your profile picture, when you scroll over it with your mouse, you'll see that this little pencil icon pops up. The pencil icon means to edit, or customize, or change, and you'll see this pencil icon several times throughout the whole IvyLearn platform. So let's click the pencil. I can now upload a picture from my storage device, or I can take a picture using my webcam. So I'm going to upload a picture from my storage device. So click Choose a Picture. I'm going to go into my picture area. I select the picture by clicking on it, and then I select Open. You'll now be able to move this little circle around to frame the picture how you want it to be viewed. Once you've made your customization, you click Save. And you'll now notice that my profile picture has been updated. This profile picture does appear in several communication areas throughout the IvyLearn platform, such as discussion boards, messaging, the conversations tool, some different areas like that, as well as feedback from your instructor. I'll point those out to you as we go across them today during the presentation. Now, to edit our profile, to add our little biography or our contact information, if we want to share that, we're going to come over here to Edit Profile. And we click the pencil. And then we just place our cursor here in the biography or the field. We enter our information just by typing. And we click Save Profile. Why is this important? It's very easy to get lost in the cyberspace, in the online learning environment. It sometimes can feel very faceless, like a telemarketing system. So by adding your picture, adding your profile, it helps you connect with not only your instructor, but also other students who are maybe in the same classes that you are, or maybe interested in the same career path. So this is a great way to get to know other students and your instructor. So we've set up our profile. Now we want to set up our settings. So again, we're in the Accounts button, and we're going to select Settings. Everything in the IvyLearn platform is due date driven. So all of your assignments should have due dates. You'll see that on that to-do list on your dashboard, which I pointed out to you just a moment ago. You'll see it in your calendar. You'll see it on your syllabus document, and you'll see it on every individual assignment. By default, all of those due dates are set to Eastern Standard Time, so Indianapolis time. If you live in a different time zone, we have students from all around the world as well as in different time zones here in Indiana, you can change your time zone so the due dates reflect where you're located. Now, to change your time zone, you're going to come over here to Edit Settings. Again, there's that little pencil icon. This is our sidebar content, so we click Edit Settings. And from the pull-down menu, I select my time zone and click Update Settings. Now all of the due dates will appear in my time zone, making it very convenient so you don't have to guess on when your assignment due dates are. We've talked a little bit about notifications, and that's the next thing that we're going to set up. Notifications are little notices, little pings in your email or through your text messaging or a personal email account, letting you know that something has changed within the course. And I'll go through that list with you in just a moment. But you can customize how you want to be notified of course changes or content changes by changing your ways to contact. So by default, everything goes to your ivytech.edu email account. You can also add a personal account. You can also add your cell phone number. Okay. So you receive notifications through those individual ways. You can customize this. To do so, you click plus email. You enter in your email address. And when you click register email, there'll be a notification that's sent to your email that you've just added. And it'll ask you to confirm that you want to do this. And then from this point on, you can receive notifications through your personal email account. The same thing with your cell phone number. If you want to receive a text message about when your instructor has updated your grades, you can set that up by placing your cell phone number here. And you just do that by clicking Add Contact Method. And again, you're going to enter in your cell phone number and then register the phone number, and you'll be prompted to confirm that using your cell phone. To set up your additional contact methods, you're in the account settings, account, and then settings. Okay. All right. Now let's move to notifications. Notifications will allow you to be notified if there's a due date change, if there's a change to grading policies, if there's a change in your course content, if there's been an announcement posted, if there's been something added to the discussion board. Conversations is our primary communication tool used in IvyLearn. You can access conversations or messages over here in the inbox, and then also through your notification preferences. So you can receive a notification that there's been a conversation sent to you through your Ivy Tech email, through your personal accounts, or to your cell phone number. So there's all these items that you can select notification preferences for. By default, all of these items in this list, you will receive notifications if anything changes in any of these areas right away to your Ivy Tech email account. Okay, so you might want to spend a little time here customizing what you want to be notified about and when and where. This will take you a couple times to get it right, okay, because sometimes you can be notified a little bit too much. But I do recommend as a student that you have notifications immediately or daily if there's been any due date changes or grading policy changes. If there's been an announcement communication that's come out from your instructor. These are important communication tools from your instructor. I also like to keep track of my grades, so I like to be notified almost immediately on that. And I can select by just clicking these icons. This means right away, the check mark. I want to be notified right away if there's a due date change. I can select to be notified once a day if anything in the due date has been changed. I can also select to be sent a weekly summary, and I can also elect not to be notified at all. Notification preferences are set up by faculty, staff, and students. So spend a lot of time here on this notification preference list. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to do is go into your account, set up your profile, your settings, and notifications. All right. So let's go down here to the Courses button. So we know the dashboard is where we're going to access our classes. Okay. These course cards become available to you 2 days prior to the start date. So if there is something that you think should be here on your dashboard and you're not seeing it, my first recommendation for you is to go to your class schedule and check the start date, because sometimes you can register for a 10-week course, an 8-week course that hasn't started yet. So those courses won't be available to you until 2 days before that start time. There's also a possibility that it just got bumped off the dashboard for some reason, and that's where this Courses button here comes into play. So select Courses from your global navigation menu, and then select all courses. When I select all courses, you'll see these are the items on my dashboard. You'll see a list of past enrollments, and you could also possibly see future enrollments here. So if you have a 12-week or an 8-week course that's not showing up yet, you might also see that here under future enrollments. This groups icon on the left-hand side, this is something that you may or may not see in your view. To be added to the groups or see this groups icon, you have to be assigned a group or a group assignment in one of your classes. If you do not have the groups button, there's no need to panic. That just means that you don't have any group assignments in the courses that you're taking. This calendar tool is probably one of the most important items in the whole IvyLearn platform. This is the great time management tool. Okay, so staying on top of what classes, the deadlines, and due dates, this is a great way to do that. I mentioned earlier that everything in the IvyLearn platform should have a due date with the assignments. They're automatically populated for you here on the calendar. Okay, so we still have this global navigation menu. We have the major part of our real estate taken up by our calendar view. And then over here on the right-hand side in our sidebar content, you'll see there's a list of classes that I'm currently taking. If you notice, there's these little color blocks right beside the title. So here's my demo, Intro to Psychology. It's red. And over here, you'll see that I have some items in red. So these were assignments that were due. If I select that color block, I've now closed that calendar and I don't see those particular items. So I can view the calendar with all my courses at one time, or I can view it with just one class at a time. I'm currently looking at it from the month view, but you can look at it by week or by agenda. Agenda just means there's a list of assignments that are due. And you'll notice here that these assignments have been marked out. This means that I've already completed that assignment. Okay? This will automatically be marked out for you once you've completed that assignment. I can actually click on any one of these links as well in the calendar and take me right to the assignment. So there's several ways to get to the assignments and the work that you need to do. There's also, I'm going to go back to our month view here. There's also, each person has their own individual calendar. So it'll have your name. And this is my demo course. So Mickey Test Student is the name of my personal calendar. Committing to those study times is key for any student, but especially in our online environment. I recommend, if you can, blocking out an hour every day to kind of work on your assignments and get those done. If you can't do a little bit every day, I recommend 2 to 3 time blocks of 2 to 3 hours just to make sure that you're reaching those due dates. Now, in an online course, you are not required to be online at a specific date and time. We do have courses that are called synchronous courses. If you're enrolled in a synchronous course with an online component, it will still have dates and times on your class schedule letting you know when you're supposed to be online. Okay? Many of our instructors do offer optional synchronous meetings, like for study times or online office hours. But basically, you just need to be aware of when those assignment due dates are and make sure that you're logging in, I would say every other day, into the online environment, checking those assignments, checking for communications from your peers and your instructor, and then also build in those study times to help you meet those deadlines. So let's go ahead and add a study time to our calendar, and I'm going to add this little plus. It says create a new event, and I'm going to say study time. I'm going to select the date I want that study time to be available. So I'm going to do this on 30th. I recommend selecting your peak learning time. Okay, so what does that mean? If you're a morning person, try to schedule your study time for first thing in the morning. If you're a night owl, try to schedule your study time in the evenings. Pick your peak learning time. The other thing that I would recommend as well is that tackle your least favorite subject first. It's natural to procrastinate and put off things that we don't like, but you really should, when your mind is fresh and you're sitting down to study, tackle the worst, or not, I hate to say the word worst, but your least favorite topic first. So for me, I'm a little math phobic, so I would have to tackle math first. So I wouldn't procrastinate that, and I make sure that I get that done. So this is your calendaring system, and you're going to see these due dates throughout the whole platform over and over again. This inbox area, our primary communication tool is called the conversations tool. So you'll see this is a conversation. Both your instructor and other students in your course can use the conversations tool to communicate with you. You'll notice that you can do a filter by all courses. So I could do it by course. I can see all my course communications at one time. I can filter my inbox, my read, my starred, my sent items. You'll notice here that I have a message that hasn't been read. So you'll see a dot, and then you'll also see right here, I have one communication that I have not read yet. Depending on how you set up your notification preferences, Mickey, the test student here, has received this both here in the inbox and then also in his notification preferences. So that could be an Ivy Tech email, a personal email account, or through text messaging. To send a message, you go over here to this kind of gray toolbar, and there's little, it's supposed to be like a quill, but it says compose a new message. You can select the course where you want to communicate with. And then I can type in the person I want to communicate with. And as I start typing, the name appears. Or if I don't know who I want to communicate with, I can select this little icon on the right-hand side, and I can look at my instructors or students in the class. I give it a subject. Okay. I want to notify the instructor. I want to be very clear on who I am and what I'm referencing. You want to remember to use proper grammar, no text, slang type of things. You want to use full sentences, proper grammar, punctuation, your best academic writing style. So just type in your message. Make sure that you offer your name and the course that you're in. Okay? The more information that you give your instructor, the better they're going to be able to assist you. Okay? Once I've composed my message, I just click send, and my instructor now receives that through their notification preferences. I also have a record of it here in my conversation tool. So if I go into sent messages, here's my message that I just sent. Finally, on the global navigation menu, there's this help button. So know your resources. To be the most successful student that you can be, don't be afraid to seek out help. And there's several ways that you can do that. In this help button, we have, you can call the help desk, which is for technical issues and problems. That's 1-888-IvyLearn. You can submit a help desk ticket. So if something isn't working from a technical perspective, you can reach out to the help desk. You can also reach out to your instructor, of course. If you remember, our IvyLearn platform is also called Canvas. So if you want to learn how to do something you're not quite sure, you can also search the Canvas guides. You can access My Ivy, which is that information portal. You can ask your instructor a question, even if you don't know who your instructor is. This tool, when you click on it, you just select the course where you want to correspond. You enter your message here, enter your question. Remember, you want to identify who you are and the class that you're asking about, and then click Send Message. And that'll go directly to your instructor. You can also access the library. The most important thing I want to point out to you is the Student Resource Center. So Help Student Resource Center. This is where you can find out what upcoming webinars are available. So you'll see that message up here first. From this home page, you can actually click on any one of these areas to go directly to a resource area. So we're talking today about how to navigate in IvyLearn. All the how-to, all the instructions I'm giving you today are also available here. So we've talked about that course calendar. If you'd like to have more information, you can click the calendar link and it'll help you create your own events. So there's lots of how-to information here. The handouts that I've provided for you on your GoToWebinar control panel are also located here. So you can access the handouts and also watch a previously recorded video under the Student Resource Center. This is also over here on the left-hand side. This is another menu, and you can go from one area to the other. And there's a couple of things I want to point out to you. One is tutor.com. Tutor.com is available 24/7. It's an online service. You have 15 hours free at the start of the semester. It resets at the beginning of every semester. You can select the topic that you need assistance with, and we have all kinds of courses: accounting, anatomy and physiology, biology, computer science, language courses, math, English, sociology, Spanish, you name it, it's probably on this list. So just select your topic, your campus where you're located, and then select Connect Now. Do not be afraid and do not be intimidated to ask for help. We have a 98% approval rating from our students who use this service, and 98% of those students continue to use this service from semester to semester. They're very friendly and they're very willing to help you. We also have tutoring services on your local campuses, so make sure you reach out to that service if it's needed as well. The other thing that tutor.com does for you is this drop-off essay review. So if you're writing a paper, doesn't matter if the course is listed here under topic or not, you can submit this to the drop-off essay review. You will get the feedback within 12 to 24 hours, and this will tell you formatting, punctuation, grammar, those types of things. It does not tell you if the content you've selected is correct. So if you're referencing, it doesn't go to your assignment details, but it will tell you how the paper is actually written. When you use the drop-off essay review, remember those time management skills. So you need time to research, time to write the paper, time to submit it to the drop-off essay review. You want to be able to get that feedback, make your changes, and still turn in that assignment by the due date. Okay, so time management. Really think about how that's being used. Okay, so that's tutor.com. The other thing I want to point out to you here is this textbook free trial. This is a limited service, and it's a courtesy service by some of our major textbook providers. So McGraw-Hill, Pearson, and also Cengage have made a 2-week free trial available to you on some of their textbooks. What you would do is you can search by, in this little find box here, you can search by title, author, or ISBN number. Once you've found your title, it pops up. It looks a little bit like this. Okay, so we'll say View Details. And this is where you select Free Trial. And the whole book is available to you for 2 weeks. It also, if you're ready to buy this is a digital copy of the textbook. So if you're ready to buy, that takes you directly to the Ivy Tech bookstore, and you can purchase this book. If you want to use the free trial and then select to buy, all of your highlights, all of the notes that you've made within that book are still saved for you. So it's a pretty nice service. So all of that is located in our Help tab under the Student Resource Center. Okay, now let's jump into a course. Let's access the course materials and let's discover some of the things that you can do there. Now remember, that's where I go to my dashboard, and I'm going to go into my Intro to Cite course. I just click on that. So now we have the global navigation menu, the course menu. We have this content area or the home page. You'll see that there's some announcements that are located here. This also corresponds with a course menu button over here on the left. And then we have that same on the sidebar content area. We have a series of to-do items, and this is course specific. So we have to take the mini quiz for Module 2. Here's the due date for that. Here's some things that are coming up in the course that I still need to do. And again, I can click on any one of these to take me to that assignment. I can also see my recent feedback, so I can see my score for my particular quiz. I got a 2 out of 5. I need to study better. So on this home page, you can access the content in a couple different ways. On this home page, you can click on any one of these modules. And modules are kind of reflective of 1 week's activities. In an 8-week course or a 12-week course, you might have to do 2 modules per week, but that'll help you, all that'll be outlined for you on that calendar and those due dates. You can also access the modules from the course menu over here on the left-hand side. But the first time you log into a course, the first time you attend a class, the first thing you want to do every semester is review those syllabus documents. So let's click on this course syllabus, and this is an online course, but this is the same type of information you'll find whether it's a traditional or hybrid course as well. So we'll have our instructor contact information, their supervisor information. Here again is that help desk system contact information. Remember, that's also located here on our Help tab. You have the contact for your online learning support folks. As I mentioned, we have several of our online technology coordinators and staff who are assisting us today answering questions. I see that Julia from Columbus has also joined Steve and Jennifer and Holly in assisting to ask questions today or answer questions. So we're glad to have her. There's also a link on your syllabus document to the Disability Support Services. If this is a service that you're curious about or you'd like to learn more about or feel like you need that service, there's a list of all of our campus locations where you can help, when you can receive help with our disabilities teams. The syllabus document also has your required text and materials. Okay, there's also a link to the Ivy Tech bookstore here built into your syllabus document. So experience psychology, the author, the edition, and the ISBN number. Now, you, of course, can buy used. If you have a friend who has the book, if you want to share, all of those things are absolutely fine. But I just want to caution you that you want to make sure that you're getting the right edition, because these textbooks can change editions quite frequently. And you want to make sure that you're using the right ISBN number. A lot of our courses use a third-party content. So, for example, our Pearson products, they have My Labs, like accounting labs, My Math Lab, those types of products. McGraw-Hill has MindTap and SAM. And then our McGraw-Hill, did I say that backwards? Cengage is MindTap, and McGraw-Hill is Connect. So our communications course, for example, uses that Connect content. When a textbook requires you to have an access code material, it will be listed here. Okay, so it'll say with access materials. Those codes are only good for one use. So if you buy a used book, just know that you'll have to purchase the access code as well to get to some of those materials that you need in the course. Now, if you don't have your syllabus, what do? You can actually go directly to the Ivy Tech bookstore. You can get to the bookstore through the syllabus document. You can get there through My Ivy, or you can simply type in www.bkstr.com. That web link is available in your handouts that we provided for you. You can search by ISBN, you can search by author, Or if you know your class, you can go over here to the books and click textbooks and course materials. Select your campus, and this is where the course is originating from. So you might be in the Anderson, Muncie, Richmond, Marion campus, and you might be taking classes at any one of those locations. So make sure you know where the course is originating from. Also in the online course environment, you can be taking a class in Gary and be living in Evansville. So know where the class is coming from, and this is available to you on your class schedule. So I'm going to select, we'll just go Indianapolis. The course that I'm looking for, and in this case, I'm going to be looking for my Accounting 101. The term and my section. And again, the section number, all of this is available on your class schedule, which is located in my Ivy. Once I've done that, I click Submit. And it'll tell me what materials are required for my course. And if you look, Accounting 101 has my accounting lab, so I need to have that access code. Okay. I can buy it directly here, add that to my card, I can use my financial aid, that type of thing. We also have two other courses that you might come across. One is called Include Ed. And Include Ed courses is where you pay for your digital textbook and resources with your tuition. And the links to that textbook material and things that would formerly be part of the access code materials are just something that you click within the course and you go directly to that. So how do you know if you're taking an Include Ed course? One, if you come to the textbook material area, it would have a little message that this is an Include Ed course and you don't need to purchase the materials. You would also see that upon registration. There would have been an attribute and a message that you don't need to purchase the textbook. You would receive an auto email letting you know that you're part of the Include Ed program. And more importantly, and probably the easiest way to identify if you are taking an Include Ed course is that on your bill, on your student bill, you would see a line item that says Include Ed materials. Okay. Include Ed courses typically have digital resources, so you're just going to go into the course and the textbook is available for you there. The one exception that I can think of off the top of my head is Math 123. So Math 123 is one of those courses that's part of the Include Ed program. It doesn't matter if you're taking it online, traditional, synchronous, however you're taking it. You'll receive a digital textbook within the course and also a workbook that gets shipped directly to your home. Okay, and you'll see that as a line item on your bill. We also have courses called Open Education Resources, and this is part of our Green Source program. Courses that use Open Education Resources, there's a small fee on your bill, and it's $10. Okay, so if you see the line item for Open Education Materials or an online material selection fee, that's what that is. That program has saved millions of dollars for our students already because of the great price for those materials. That information is also always located on your syllabus document. Okay, so there's lots of ways to get that textbook information. I see that there's a good question in the question box. Do they match, price match? And I do think that Follett bookstores do offer a price match. You can probably find that information on their website. It's a great question. All right, the syllabus document also has a course outline of record. And this is kind of what you can expect to learn in that particular course. So here's your learning objectives. One of the things we're going to learn in psychology here is to identify and differentiate theoretical perspectives of psychology. So this is what we can expect to learn. There's a link to college policies and support services. This is the academic honesty policies, things that the college expects of you as a student. You should read this at least once a semester, not for every class because it's the same for all courses, but at least one time a semester. We want to make sure that you're definitely turning in your own authentic work, for example. So college policies and support services are available here under this link. The syllabus document also has course policies and procedures and how the course is going to be taught. So in this particular demonstration, this is an online distance learning course, and students will respond back to faculty, or faculty will respond back to students within 36 hours. You can expect that all the grades will be maintained in the Grade Center. That's for all courses, whether you're taking a traditional, hybrid, or online course. The online environment has due dates and deadlines. We've talked about that a little bit. So you make sure you're using that calendar and your time management skills to make sure you're meeting those deadlines. In an online course, all late assignments will be given a grade of 0 unless you have prior approval from the instructor. Online courses offer a flexibility that you can access them 24/7 anywhere with an internet connection. However, it's also very easy to procrastinate and put that off because you're not seeing that instructor face-to-face. Don't procrastinate. Make sure that you're getting that homework done and sticking to your study times. We do understand that life happens, and your instructor are partners in your education. So if you know you're going to have to miss an assignment for some reason because you're going to be at a work conference or there's some type of medical procedure, make sure that you talk with your instructor and let them know that you're going to have a hard time meeting that deadline and why, and most importantly, how you plan on making up that work. Let them know that you're serious about it. Hello, Professor Pittman. My name is Kathy Long. I have to be out of work. I'm going to be off campus and offline for the next 3 to 4 days. I'm at a company-required conference. I will be able to make up my assignments and list out what those assignments are by Tuesday at 5 p.m. Okay? Setting that goal and expectation for yourself and for your instructor allows you to really think about, how am I going to make up this work? When am I going to make up this work? And it lets your instructor know that you're serious about your education. Okay? If something happens and you don't have prior knowledge of it, please contact your instructor as soon as possible and let them know that something went wrong. A lot of times, if there's a death in the family or a medical emergency, your instructor may require you to send in a doctor's note or some kind of proof that you were out for a particular reason. So your instructor is there to help you, but you really want to make sure that you're staying on top of things. Attendance policy. Don't get dropped from the class. So you want to make sure that you're logging into your course and you're completing an assignment. It's called an academic event. So how attendance is kept in an online course is that you log in and you complete an assignment, a graded assignment. Okay. You just don't go in and click around. You have to complete an assignment to be considered in attendance. So don't get dropped from class. For those of you taking hybrid or traditional classes, make sure you're showing up and making sure that you are checked in on those attendance sheets. Am I required to come to campus for this course? This can vary from class to class. So for example, one of the reasons you might have to come to class for an online course is for a proctored exam. And a proctored exam is basically where you come into a testing environment and you're observed while you're doing the test. Think back to your high school days when your instructor was in the room with you while you were taking your exam. That's kind of a proctored exam. You can go to any one of our campuses that provide testing services. It's a free service. You will have to show your Ivy Tech ID, and you will be able to set up an appointment. Information about the testing centers are located here under the proctored exam information, and then also in the Student Resource Center. If you're required to take a proctored exam, but you cannot come to campus, you're in a different state or a different location, or just can't come to campus for whatever reason, you can use a service called ProctorU, and there's a link to that information here as well. This requires the use of a webcam. It does charge a small fee to you, the student, and basically you are being observed through the webcam taking your exam. Identification is also required for this format. This information is also located in the Student Resource Center. online communication etiquette. So the instructor is committed to responding back to you within 36 hours. That it does include weekends. There's a line here on how to communicate. Your best netiquette, so how to communicate without using slang terms, with using proper grammar. Again, your best academic writing style is what's recommended. Your primary communication tool is going to be conversations, and we've already talked about that. That's over here under the inbox. And then also ties into your notification preferences, which is also talked about in the online courses. Every syllabus has how your grade is calculated, and this is definitely different for each one of the courses. And the last thing I want to point out to you on this syllabus is the course summary. So here's a list of all the assignments in the class, and you'll see that there are due dates and the time of date. And this time reflects my time zone, okay? Because remember, I set up my settings up here under my account. All right, we're moving right along here. So now we're prepared. We've set up our profile, our notification preferences, and our settings. We've checked out the calendar, and we've also read the syllabus document for our course. So let's get started. What do I do next? You can go back to this home page and access your first module, or you can click Modules from the course menu. And this is where the course content happens. This is laid out for you in a sequential learning order. So it's recommended that you start with the class overview. This is the module overview. And then here's some reading materials. And then we have some assignments built in here as well. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just start at the very beginning. What am I going to be doing in this particular module? So you'll see there's an overview. And you'll see this is kind of set up like a slide deck. So if I just click next, I've read this information. I go into my next little bit of information from my instructor. This instructor has posted a lecture for you, so you would watch the lecture. You click next, and you just sequentially move through the content using these previous and next buttons, or from the module's index view, say that on Monday you start looking through this and you have to stop to go to work and you want to pick up where you left off. I can go to this index view and go to the next part where I left off. So let's do, I'm going to have to read pages 1 to 4. Here are my topics. And when I click next, it takes me to my first assignment type. And this is actually a quiz, okay? So every assignment that you are required to do has a title. There's a due date, the points possible, how many questions are in the assessment, and the time limit. You'll also notice in this particular quiz, I have unlimited attempts. This is very rare. Usually you have one attempt at a quiz or an assessment, but this one has unlimited attempts. I think this is because it's an orientation to the course, and the instructor wants to make sure that you get the information you need. Okay, so whether this is the first time I'm taking the quiz or on a multiple attempt, you'll see this little green button that says take the quiz, or in this case, take the quiz again. So when I click take the quiz again, it opens up to my quiz questions. This is set up as a multiple choice. So I read the question carefully, and then I answer the questions. Okay, I'm just selecting the radial dial of the answer I think is correct. This assessment tool also has true, false. You might be asked to fill in the blank or answer an essay question. It's very user-friendly and pretty straightforward. Once you've answered all the questions, you click Submit Quiz. Depending on your instructor, depends on how much feedback you get. So in this particular feedback, the instructor has allowed me to see the question, the points I earned, and the answer that I gave. If I continue to scroll down here, you'll see that I have this question incorrect. So I've earned 0 out of 1 points, and it doesn't tell me the correct answer. It tells me the answer that I gave. And then it also gives me some feedback. Please take a look at the definition of psychology on page 2 of the textbook. Okay. So that's an assessment. Okay, that's how you take a quiz. Let's go back into our modules. It's one of the most common types of assignments that you'll do in this platform. There's also a thing called discussion boards. A discussion board is an online discussion where you actually have to interact with both your instructor and other students in the course. There are traditional and hybrid courses that also use the discussion board. This allows everyone to participate. So if you're a little shy in class and you don't like to speak in front of a lot of different people, the discussion boards give you a chance to respond to the question and to interact with other students through the written word. In this particular discussion board, it's asking us to introduce yourself to the class. So you would read the question very carefully. You need to respond back to the question and then usually also respond or interact with at least 2 other people in your course to get full credit and points. This is a great learning tool if you use it correctly. So participate, interact with other students. To answer a discussion board, you'll see there's a little button here that says reply. So when I click reply, I type out my introduction. And then I select post reply. And I've now added my introduction. You'll notice this is one of those locations where you see your profile picture and a link to your profile. Okay, so when you're having a conversation with those in your class, you can kind of see who you're talking to. You're also required to kind of reply back to at least 2 other people in the course. So here, Catherine has posted her introduction. I click the reply button within her response. I reply back. And I click post reply. Now in your replies, it should be, a couple sentences to a paragraph. You need to go beyond I agree or ditto or what she said. You really need to use your best academic writing style and really contribute to the conversation. That's the discussion boards. All right. The one other thing that I want to show you is how to submit an assignment. So in our module, if I scroll down here, you'll see that I have a writing project. So let's click on the writing project. Just like in every other assignment that we have or any other thing we have to do, here's the assignment title. Oops. You'll have your due date, the points possible, what type of file that is required, and this wants you to submit a doc or a docx. Okay. Here are the instructions for this particular assignment. And this particular assignment, they also use a rubric. And a rubric is kind of, if you want to earn 50 points for the depth of self-assessment, then you need to provide excellent, clearly articulated, and well thought out analysis. So this is what you have to do to earn these points within your assignment. This is kind of a guidelines to help you be successful and write a good paper. Okay. I have submitted this assignment before during our presentations, but you would just see submit assignment. And in this case, we're seeing resubmit assignment. Okay, so it's always the same location, but the name of the button might change to submit or resubmit. So when I click that, I now have an option to do a file upload. So for my storage device or my computer, remember the instructions say I have to submit a DOC or docx. Other file types that your instructor could select to use are Google Docs, Embed Codes, Dropbox, and Google Drive. So there's lots of different things that faculty can choose from. In this particular case, I'm going to select Choose File. And I'm going to go into my Documents area. and I want to select a DOC, a doc or docx, find my file. You'll see that it's now been added, but I have not submitted it yet. I can add comments to my instructor here, and it's also prompting me to check this box acknowledging that I know that my paper is going to be compared to the plagiarism detection tool database. Okay, so a lot of our instructors use this tool called VeriCite. It's looking to make sure that you are correctly citing your work and that you're not plagiarizing a lot of material. Once I've added this, my file, I've selected my, that I acknowledge that I'm going to be checked to a database, I click Submit Assignment. Over on the right-hand side, you'll now see that I've got a success receipt that I've turned it in on January 17th at 1:59 p.m. Here are my submission details. I can look at my notifications. I can see the assignment that I turned in. And that's how you turn in an assignment. And it could be an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint, a written document. It could be a lot of different things, but that's how you submit homework assignments. I want to point out to you too on this course menu, grades. Okay, so when you click on grades, this is customized to you as the individual student. No one else, no other students can see your grade center, and you cannot see anybody else's grade center. This is very specific to you. So you'll see that I've taken mini quiz module 1, I've scored 2 out of 5. That I've submitted my homework assignment, that's what we just did, but it hasn't been graded, and I've submitted that as a document, okay? That I've posted to the discussion board, but it hasn't been graded yet, so you'll see that there's these little thought bubbles. So this is how I can see my grades. I recommend checking them about once a week. You can expect in an online course that faculty will take almost up to 7 days to grade homework assignments, such as the written document that we have. On the assessment that we submitted earlier, this discussion board, that can happen a little bit quicker, but typically 7 days is what you can expect to get feedback on your grades. This Grade Center, remember, we can access our grades from the dashboard, but you can also select from this pull-down menu. I can go to a different course and see my grades for a different course. So it's really just a couple clicks to see how you're doing in all of your classes. So that's the grades button. If you have other documents located here on the course menu, feel free to click on those, see what they offer. You can't break anything, so feel free to explore. Make sure that you're reading everything, whether that's an email or a conversation from your instructor, the announcements, which are also very important, the discussion boards, and definitely your textbooks and the assignment instructions within those modules. So you'll see here that we have quite a few announcements that can be read within this particular course. All right, so we went through a lot of information. You have the handouts that you need to access any of the web links that we mentioned. You know that you want to set up your profile, your settings, and your notifications. That's on your first icon on your global navigation menu. Successful students recommend using the course calendar, not only for your course due dates and deadlines, but also to schedule your study times and any other responsibilities. If you do volunteer work, if you have a work schedule, get those down on the calendar so you can look at that and plan accordingly. To access your courses, you're going to go into the dashboard and you're going to click the course card. You want to make sure that you read your syllabus document, and you can access your course content using the modules. And you want to log in as soon as possible to get started. Use all of the resources that are available to you to help you be successful. You can go to this help button on the global navigation menu. If you need technical assistance, that information is listed here. And also that IvyLearn Student Resource Center is a really rich resource and opportunity for you. In addition, we have library services, tutor.com, disability support services. So ask for help. Ivy Tech really wants you to be successful in reaching your educational goals. With all of that said, I'd like to thank Jennifer Stouffer, Julia Stump, Stephen Mitchell, and Holly Gould for being online with me today, helping to answer your questions. And I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today. I wish you the very best this semester. I know you're going to be successful.